Hello everyone, this is Sybil. Welcome to my channel. I apologize ahead of time for maybe a dark appearance to this video. It was sunshining a little bit ago, and just as I was getting ready to turn on the video, it became very overcast. It was raining when I woke up this morning, and then it all kind of went away and the sun came out, but you know, that's how weather is. I am here to share with you a little bit of some hauls and a gift given to me. And I also, for those of you that are interested, I wanted to share with you a personal update. I know this is my craft channel, and I pretty much keep it to crafting. But there has been something going on in my life the last few months. And so I've had some questions, I've had some private messages, and after I posted a picture on Instagram yesterday and on my Facebook, I did not think it would generate questions, to be truthful, but anyway, I'm gonna go over that and explain what's going on right now in my life. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and stay after I share with you my goodies. So first off, I purchased a couple of MFT products from Doodlebugs Wah. I've shared that store with you guys, I don't know, for over a year now. They are such a wonderful, wonderful crafting store, a brick and mortar store in the state of Washington. That's why it's Doodlebugs Wah. And you get free shipping, and please forgive me if I don't remember, I think it's over $20 in the US. If you place an order of $20 or more, you get free shipping. They always package everything so beautifully. Oftentimes they'll include a little note or a little tiny gift, you know, and it's so sweet. And so I just love the staff there. They're all wonderful. And I've not met them. It's just whenever I post on my Instagram, sometimes on Facebook, and sometimes even here, they'll give me extra points, extra reward points, or they'll write me a little note, you know, send me a little card. They're just so wonderful. So I picked up birthday chicks. I thought this was so, so cute from MFT. I love all those little birdies. And I don't have very many birthday stamps, so I figured I better start getting some. And then I picked up the coordinating dies. So that was from Doodlebugs Wah. And I'll have the link to their store down below, and if you sign up, you get reward points, and they're just really fantastic. Can't say enough about them. And then I got my Hero Arts, my monthly hero kit, and another store, online store that I absolutely love. Their customer service is top notch. I mean, it is fabulous. And when you subscribe, you can get, you'll get your monthly kit. And what I really love about them, which I've mentioned before, is that you get free shipping, but they give you so much goodness in the kit, and they include dies. And I don't know of any other monthly kits that actually do that. Maybe there are, but so I'm going to just show you the little extras here. So you get some glitter here, sparkling glitter. Maybe it's embossing, but it looks like glitter. I do have some embossing powder that's glitter, has glitter in it. It's really pretty. And then you get some beautiful sequins here. So you've got little stars, teeny tiny stars, and look at all those little ones. And you get some big stars in there too. Real pretty. And then you get their white ink. And so here, oh, I guess I could show you this. You get the paper. You get, looks like craft. Is it 3 sheets of each? 3 sheets of craft, white, no, 4 sheets. 4 sheets of white, and then 4 sheets of the black. And then, and I keep the ribbon for my cards and everything. They always make this look so nice. And there are the beautiful stamps, a whole bunch of them. I love it. You got the coffee and then all the different words. Really, really cool. Got sunshine and flowers and clouds and bows and hearts. I think they had me in mind when they made this because a lot of my favorite things are on there. And then you get dies, hugs, hello, and you get the dies to cut out, like I think this, the little banners. That's really, really cool. And then what is this? Thank you. And then a speech bubble. So that is going to be so much fun to play with. So I'm going to set that there. I'm going to set this little book here. A friend of mine gave me this book, and I had a procedure done this last week, and she took me to the procedure and gave me this book. And that's all I'm going to say right now. But I took some notes, so forgive me. I did not plan on getting emotional. I didn't feel emotional when I was gonna tape this. So excuse me if I do get emotional during this video. But I just want to kind of go back. Let me move that out of the way because I've got my light on and that's glaring. I want to go back about a month or so. Well, actually more than that. I'm just going to start out with a little personal update. And then I'll go into more details. And like I said, I took notes because I'm just concerned I might forget something. My husband was working as a private contractor for a company that hires safety engineers. And another company out of the state of New York needed a safety engineer. And so my husband's best friend told him, because he already was working, and he said, hey, you know, Jerry, if you want to call this company, they're looking for a safety engineer. So he called them and they did hire him. And so he was in the state of New York for about 5 months working on a job. And the job was only supposed to last a couple of months. So that was a real blessing that it lasted a little over 5 months. Or maybe it was a little under 5 months. But anyway, my husband came home the beginning of February. And in January, my birthday's in January, I went to the doctor, got a new doctor because, you know, we had moved and I just did not want to drive over an hour to my other doctor. So got a local doctor here. She's wonderful. I went to see her and I told her, I said, I need a mammogram. I haven't had a mammogram in a few years. And the reason for that is we've had insurance, then we didn't have insurance. Then we moved, and then when we moved back to Oregon, I had developed Graves' disease, and that threw me for a loop, and that was almost like a 2-year ordeal going through all of that. And so mammogram at that time was the last thing on my mind, and also because there's no breast cancer on either side of my family. So not on my dad's side and not on my mom's side of the family. And my other mammograms I've had have always been, you know, good. But I said, you know, it's been a few years since I've had a mammogram. I need to get one. And so she gave me the card. I called that same day, scheduled it, and they got me in just a few days after my husband returned home. So he went with me to my appointment. And when I was there, they said, our mammograms are digital, so they're not real painful like your previous mammograms. And they said, but we also offer 3D mammography if you want to pay that. Most insurance, I don't know about most, but some insurance companies pay for it. And a lot don't, from my understanding. And I figured the one that we had probably would not pay for it. So I said, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll pay for that out of my own pocket. And I think it was like 100 or 150 extra to do the 3D mammography. And I figured that would be probably good for me to do since it'd been several years since I'd had a mammogram. Well, I waited for a few weeks and no phone call, and I thought, I wonder what's going on. Usually I get a call within like a week or so of my mammogram. And by the third week, I was getting kind of concerned. And then they called me that morning and said they had found something suspicious, and would I come back in to have another mammogram. And that, I don't know, that just hit me like a ton of bricks, you know, kind of knocks the wind out of you. You don't expect that. At least I didn't expect that. And they didn't give me too much information, so I called my doctor because they said they sent the information over to her, and I left a message with her. And then I called the breast clinic again, and I said, could I talk to somebody that would give me some more information? And she said, yes, let me get a radiologist technician. And so that person came on the phone, really nice, and explained that they saw an area of a cause of concern, a suspicious looking nodule. And so I was like, what's a nodule, you know? And so I looked all that up and everything. And then later on that day, my doctor called and told me that they had found a mass. And so I went from nodule to mass, you know, and I said, this sounds horrible. And she said, actually, they're the same thing. It's just an area of concern on the mammogram. The majority of the time, it's just dense breast tissue. And so they told me when I went in, I needed to have another mammogram, but not a 3D, another mammogram, and then an ultrasound. And so my husband went with me, and they let me, that was a long appointment. I was there for several hours. And they did the mammogram, then they did the ultrasound, and then they called me back in for more pictures through the mammogram, and then a lot of waiting. And then they, you know, if you're good to go, they just tell you, you're fine, everything's fine, no worries, and they send you off. Well, they said, would you like your husband to come back with you? And I said, yes. And so my husband came back, and we met with the doctor, the radiologist, and he said there are 2 places, a mass in each of your breasts, and we want to do a biopsy. It's called a bilateral biopsy in each breast. And so then, of course, I'm panicking, you know, and just thinking, what on earth? So I'm so thankful my husband was there, and we were able to ask questions. But I'm just going to be truthful. For me, everybody's different, but for me, I was like numb. I said, I've always had dense breast tissue. I've always had calcium deposits. And they said, no, these are micro calcifications, and they're in a cluster. And that's the word that concerns them, is when they see them in a cluster. And so we went home and had an emotional week. They set the appointment for 2 weeks out. And my husband and my oldest son told me, they said, Mom, well, my son called me Mom, not my husband, but he said, Mom, you know, I think if it was something of grave concern, they wouldn't put you out, you know, 2 weeks out. But anyway, I just, this last week, had on Monday, well, not last week, this week, so today's Friday, so on Monday the 12th, I had my bilateral biopsy. And I'm going to back up just a little bit and share that during this time, my husband, who, you know, he had worked for, he was contracted out for that company in New York. Well, that company gave him a job offer and hired him to be one of their safety engineers. So he went to North Carolina, which is why about a month or so ago, I asked on my Facebook, who lives by North Carolina? But we weren't sure if he would get that job for sure or not, but he did. And so he went to North Carolina on the 5th, and it's going to be about a 2-year job. And I travel to see him when he's at a job, you know, that's usually several months long. I oftentimes will travel to see him and stay with him. And so that's what we plan on doing this time too. But so anyway, one of my best friends took me to my biopsy appointment, and I was told it was painful. I'd watched some videos. I guess that could be good and it could be bad depending on who you listen to. You know, and then I just learned everybody's experience is their own. And what happens for one person doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen for you. So truthfully, they were painless. And I'm just being truthful. The actual procedure was painless. And I thank the Lord for that. And afterward, you're pretty sore. You know, that I will be truthful about. You're pretty sore. But, you know, that lasts for a few days. I'm still a little sore. I'm pretty bruised up. But that goes away. You know, it's not like just for mainly the first day. They said for me it would probably be a little bit longer since they did both, you know. So I got the call on Wednesday. And my best friend, the same one that took me to the appointment, came over and brought me lunch, and we had lunch, and I was getting ready to call them because I thought they would have called me in the morning. And they called me that afternoon while she was here, and I put it on speaker, and they said, "Miss Brewer, you do not have breast cancer in your left breast." So I was so thankful to the Lord for that. But they said, however, in your right breast, you have what's called DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ, stage 0 breast cancer. And she said, it is like at the very beginning. She says it's almost not even cancer, it's like pre-cancer. It's non-invasive and it's non-life-threatening. And, you know, I'm so thankful my friend was there. She recorded the phone conversation because you hear the word cancer and you go numb. You know, that's all you hear is cancer. And so she told me, she said, you know, every case is different, but we need to do an MRI. So I have an MRI scheduled for next Tuesday on the 20th, and they're going to check and just make sure that all the mammography readings and the ultrasound and the biopsies showed that it was in one certain place. And the MRI is going to make sure, is going to show them that that's correct, or if it's in any other areas of my breast, it will show that. So I have to have that done next Tuesday, and then I meet with the surgeon on the 29th of this month, and I'll go over the findings of the MRI and then my options of what to do. And so that has been going on for almost, all of February and most of March. And it has been an emotional roller coaster. And I shared it with several Christian friends, both in my personal life and then in my crafting life, who I also consider my friends in my personal life too. Several of them I talk outside of YouTube. And there are too many to name, but I contacted several of my friends that I knew loved the Lord and believed in prayer and would join with me in prayer. And each one of you ladies that I've contacted, thank you. Thank you for praying for me, holding my hand across the miles, hugging me across the miles, encouraging me, and being positive, speaking God's truth into my life, speaking words of encouragement. And I'm not going to name you ladies, but you know who you are because I've spoke with you this last month. Some of you even couple of you even in February when I let you know about my mammogram. But thank you from the bottom of my heart. I feel so blessed to be part of this crafting community, because I have made some of the best friends. And even though I've not met you in person, I've said this before, I've met you in my heart. And your heart and my heart have become kindred. And I thank you for your friendship. And I thank you for your prayers. And my friend gave me this beautiful book. It's called 365 Promises from God's Word in Color. And color me a book of promises, she wrote. Do Sybil from your friend. And it's beautiful. So I can color. Look at how beautiful. And then there's scripture texts over there. And it's just gorgeous. So I sat down and I started reading some of the promises, and I remembered. And I know this video is a little bit long, but I just want to share this really quick. A couple of wonderful, wonderful things happened. The day of my biopsies, I went into the waiting room, and there was a lady reading Rick Warren's A Purpose-Driven Life. And so that was wonderful, talking with her. And then we talked about the Lord for about 20 minutes. The ultrasound tech was a Christian. She talked with me. The doctor that did the biopsies was a Christian. They played worship music during my procedure. I loved that. Then they played Mercy Me, I Can Only Imagine. The doctor, after the procedure, put his hand on me and said that he would pray for me. And the Lord just surrounded me the whole time. And I've received cards and emails and private messages and phone calls from so many of you. Wonderful, wonderful people. And I love you guys. And I do want to say that in the middle of all of this, we received some wonderful, wonderful news. Our youngest son and his wife found out they're going to have a baby. Yay! And I literally cried when they told me, because to me that was just hope. That was hope and joy from the Lord. And so today they're getting an ultrasound. I'm so excited. They live in Pennsylvania, so I'm waiting to hear from them. And yeah, that's so, so, so exciting. And also I want to say that I'm taking a break from Scrap Bin Saturday this weekend. It's just been an emotionally draining week. And whether you get good news or bad news, this process is such a roller coaster of emotions. And so I talked to Megan and I said, I would just like to take a little break this week, you know. And she's so sweet. She's like, of course. And she understood. And she's one of the lovely ladies that have been praying for me through this situation. Thank you, Megan. And so there you go. That's that. Again, I know it's a rather long video, but I was going to insert some pictures of my home decor. I had shared with you the pieces that I had purchased, and I was going to share with you some of my living room, but I decided I won't because this is such a long video. But I am going to say this as my final thought. Everybody has an opinion on mammograms, to do them or not do them. Everybody has an opinion on what you should do, if you should do chemo or if you should do radiation, a lumpectomy or mastectomy. But it's your body, it's your journey, and you need to do what is best for you. Don't judge people if they do something different. You can share your story with them, but as one of my dear friends here in YouTube shared with me in a private message, she said, it's between you and your husband. Don't do what I've done. Don't do what somebody else has done. You and your husband decide. And that is what I'm doing. I will give you another update as I go down the road on this journey. And my updates might not be what you expect, or, you know, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know the conclusion until I get the MRI and until I talk with my surgeon and we go from there. And so first and foremost, I'm praying for God to give me wisdom on what's the best choice for me to do. And then I'll talk with my husband. My husband and I are praying. My kids and I are praying. My best friends and I are praying. And my prayer group of scrappy, lovely, wonderful, blessed sisters are praying. And so I know I will come to the right decision for me. And again, I would love for no negativity on your comments. Not that I think anybody would, but I'm just prefacing, thank you for those of you that watched to the end. Again, I'm so sorry. It's such a long video. I guess I got wordy, but I love you guys. God bless you. God is good. He is with me. And I appreciate and love you all so much. I'll talk to you again soon. And I will share probably some cards this weekend. So I think I'm going to take Sunday and maybe make some cards just to relax. Take care, guys. Love you so much. Bye-bye now.